what kind of hair care products that you recommend, if you use a laser, stuff that you focus on. I
Sure.
guess maybe even just to, you're a dad, you're healthy, very successful, like any things that you think are important from a well-being perspective that are core tenets to you. I'd love for you to share a little bit about that. And I think it'll be a nice way for everyone to get to know you even more from already a wonderful conversation, but a nice capstone for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I guess my wellness journey, or if you could say my dysregulation journey, started when I was a surgical resident back in the 1990s. I was working 140 hours a week on call every other night or every third night. And even at a time when they said that residents should be working less hours, I was kind of like, well, why? I was kind of against it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It was kind of like a rite of passage. And then as I got into my entrepreneurial years, many of my business mentors were, sleep when you're dead, and, sleep is for the weak, and look at how much more I can accomplish. And so, having a lot of persistence and drive naturally, I think didn't lend itself to a lot of good quality sleep. But I would say about 10 to 15 years ago, I decided I was going to join my brother-in-law at the time on a ski trip. And I realized that I hadn't skied in like 10 years. I better get my butt back into the gym. And so the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of my journey to health and wellness started with hiring a personal trainer to get me ready for a ski trip. Because I love to ski. I skied since I was in high school. I was in a ski club in college and skied all the time with my buddies in medical school, and even a little bit when I could get out during my residency. But once I had moved to Florida, I really did not have the chance to do it. And I reconnected with a lot of my friends and my family from New York, and we would do a ski trip out west once a year. We still do that. So that kind of started me on the journey. And I think it was my wife who said somewhere in the neighborhood of around 2016, she's like, "Oh, Alan, when is the baby due?" And so, I was realizing at that moment that I couldn't get my button closed on my new custom suit. And I was, did not want to bring it to the tailor to make that happen. And so my health journey progressed even farther at that moment to try to figure out how come if I had a personal trainer, how was he letting me get this way?
Yeah.
And so there were some things I needed to fix, and nutrition and sleep were certainly two big ones. I changed my workout regimen. I changed my eating window. I changed what I eat and how I eat. I am a foodie, so it's always a little bit of a struggle. I enjoy food. I don't enjoy fast food, so I guess that's helpful. But I enjoy good food, and I found in my family life from generations that food was always kind of the source of the family, a
Mm-hmm.
social time. And so from the time I was very, very young, we would vacation in the Catskills, and it was basically all you can eat in New York in that time, all inclusive. And my parents still, my dad's is in his 80s, my mom's in her 70s, they still go to all inclusive resorts and have fun the whole week there. And I don't know how they get out there without being 400 pounds. But so anyway, I switched out my, big like protein shake with all those frozen fruits in there and all the nuts and everything and yogurt and blah, blah, blah. I switched that out to fasting in the morning. And I do an 18-6 most days, weekdays. Try to get to bed a lot earlier than I used to. I have an Oura Ring. It's probably the best biohack of 2017 to help me track my sleep, try to get a little bit better quality sleep, track my activity levels. I also I wear a glucose monitor most of the time. I've learned a lot of what affects me metabolically and what things I can kind of get away with and what things I can't. And I'm always experimenting. At least that's my excuse uh, for trying different things. But I would say that, listening to my mentors, whether it be like someone like Peter Attia or Dave Asprey and other folks in that sphere of biohacking and wellness and longevity, and being a member of the American Academy of Anti-Aging for over 20 years, I've been exposed to what I would say is the next generation of medical care, which is prevention.
Mm-hmm.
And, years ago, I think I graduated medical school without knowing much of anything about nutrition and certainly nothing about exercise. I mean, zero. And what you could write, what you could learn, what I learned about nutrition from medical school, you could write on the back of a matchbook with a crayon. I mean, so everything
Yeah.
else is self-taught, and I've made all the mistakes in fasting and things like that. I've had all, there was no book for me to read at that moment, at that time when we decided to do these things. And kind of my personal trainer and our group of friends, we've kind of like muddled our way through, and it's true biohacking, right? When you try things and they don't work, or you feel bad, to try to figure out how to make it work. But today, for your listeners, there's so many ways to get the information now that I didn't have. And so, there's books on how to fast, and how to get good sleep. And so I encourage you to listen to these podcasts by the masters, I mean, and Peter and I work on a lot of patients together. He's been a great mentor to me through podcasting, and his more recent book, which I just finished this weekend, was amazing. So
Nice.
I encourage everybody to check that stuff out, and the books that Dave has written as well. Obviously having him come to my clinic and have his hair transplant with me was a bright shining star, I think, in my career. And because he was the one that really changed my life with buttered coffee way back when. I promptly lost those 20 pounds within a short few months with a lot more energy and a lot more vitality. And and I have a great medical team that also assists me on the functional medicine side of things. So, as we age, we have to watch our hormone levels, and maybe we have to add in some peptides and things like that, and increase our supplements and change our diet. So I'm on the path of, like everybody else, hopefully.
Yeah.
I want to be able to ski when I'm 100 years old. So that's my plan. And the centenarian decathlon, or however many events I have to plan for when I'm 100, that's how I plan for the future.